The Monetary Board, at its review number 4 of 2019, Monetary Policy Review number 4, decided to maintain policy interest rates and the statutory reserve requirement at their current levels. Accordingly, the standing deposit facility rate remains unchanged at 7.50%. The standing lending facility rate is at 8.50%, and the statutory reserve ratio is at 5%. Members of the Monetary Board considered some key factors in arriving at their decision. These included both domestic and global developments in the current period and in the foreseeable future. So, let me take you through some key factors that the board considered in arriving at their decision. Softening global growth spurs a dovish turn in monetary policies. The Federal Reserve held interest rates steady in June 2019 but signaled possible interest rate cuts over the remainder of the year. The Reserve Bank of Australia lowered its cash rate twice in June and July 2019 to support employment growth and to achieve the inflation target. The Central Bank of Philippines also cut its policy rate in May 2019 due to expected low growth. Bank Negara Malaysia reduced its policy rates to 3% this year. The Reserve Bank of India also relaxed its benchmark policy repo rate in June 2019 for the third time this year and changed its monetary policy stance from neutral to accommodative. Real GDP growth for quarter 1 2019 registered 3.7%, following a growth of 1.8% in quarter 4 of 2018. Growth was supported by an expansion in all three sectors. Agriculture activities grew by 5.5% with the support of oleaginous fruits and animal production largely. The industry sector recorded a growth of 3%, supported mainly by the recovery in construction activities. Services activities recorded a growth of 4.1%, largely driven by financial services and wholesale and retail trade. With GNI per capita of US dollars 4,060, Sri Lanka is reclassified as an upper middle income country by the World Bank. Headline inflation remained broadly around the mid single digit level thus far in 2019. Headline inflation based on CCPI on a year on year basis decelerated to 3.8% in June from 5% in May. Core inflation based on CCPI on a year on year basis decelerated to 5.8% in June from 6.2% in the previous month. Headline inflation declined in June due to a deceleration in both food and non-food inflation during the month. Although some price pressures could emerge in the near term, inflation is projected to remain well anchored in the desired 4 to 6% range in the medium term, supported by appropriate monetary policy measures. The external sector is broadly stable with a narrowing trade deficit. During the first 4 months of 2019, exports increased by 4.5% to US dollars 3.95 billion. Imports declined by 17.4% to US dollars 6.4 billion. The trade deficit narrowed notably by US dollars 1.5 billion to US dollars 2.5 billion from US dollars 3.98 billion during the corresponding period of 2018. The decline in the trade deficit was supported mainly by the reduction in imports of gold, personal vehicles, and refined petroleum. According to provisional data, the trade deficit narrowed further in May 2019. Tourist arrivals have picked up in June compared to May, while worker remittances have declined in May. Arrivals in June increased to 63,072 in June from 37,802 in May. However, tourist arrivals on a year-on-year basis in June decreased by 57%. Earnings in June are estimated at US dollars 118.4 million. For the period January to June 2019, tourist earnings are estimated at US dollars 1.9 billion. Workers' remittances, however, declined by 3.1% to US dollars 562.1 million in May. For the period January to May 2019, worker remittances were estimated at US dollars 2.7 billion. The Sri Lankan rupee has appreciated so far during 2019, partly correcting the sharp depreciation observed in late 2018. The Sri Lankan rupee has appreciated against the US dollar by 4.1% up to 11th July 2019 from the beginning of the year. Gross official reserves are estimated to have increased to US dollars 8.9 billion by end June 2019, mainly due to proceeds of US dollars 2 billion from the issuance of the ISB. Private sector credit growth decelerated to 9.2% by end May 2019 from 15.9% at end 2018. Following a higher than projected credit expansion in 2018, in absolute terms, private sector credit contracted by rupees 2.6 billion in May, resulting in a cumulative decline of rupees 19.6 billion during the first 5 months of 2019. However, private sector credit is expected to gradually pick up during the latter part of 2019 with the reduction in market lending rates. Broad money growth remained moderate in May 2019, driven by the slowdown in private sector credit. Broad money growth remained moderate at 9.4% in May in comparison to 9% in April 2019. The central bank has taken a number of measures recently to ease monetary conditions. We have reduced our policy rates by 50 basis points to 7.50% and 8.50% on 31st May 2019. There have been sizable liquidity injections through statutory reserve ratio cuts, and maximum interest rates have been imposed on deposit products with effect from end April 2019. And we have also given forward guidance of a possible rate reduction. With these measures, the AWCMR has declined by 115 basis points so far in 2019, while domestic market liquidity has increased to surplus level since mid-April 2019. Yields on government securities have also declined notably by more than 150 basis points across all tenures. Market deposit rates have responded to recent policy measures. With regard to rates on new deposits, the average weighted new deposit rate and the average weighted new fixed deposit rate for May 2019 declined by 119 basis points each to 10.05% and 10.38% respectively from the previous month. The average weighted deposit rate and the average weighted fixed deposit rate for June 2019 has declined by 6 basis points and 12 basis points respectively to 8.94% and 11.07%. The lower key reference rates for the deposit cap, basically which were made with effect from June 2019, would result in a further reduction in deposit interest rates in the period ahead. While most market lending rates are yet to show a significant reduction, some lending rates have already shown signs of a decline. The weekly average weighted prime rate has declined by 111 basis points to 11.13% as at 5th July compared to 12.24% recorded at end April. The average weighted lending rate has increased by 1 basis point to 14.48% in May 2019, and the average weighted new lending rate has declined marginally by 3 basis points to 14.59% in May 2019. However, the transmission of the recent easing of monetary conditions to market lending rates, including AWPR, is not yet complete. The Monetary Board was of the view that there is ample space for market lending rates to adjust downwards in response to the policy measures already taken. The central bank will continue to monitor the developments in the global and domestic financial markets and take appropriate further action as necessary to support economic growth in the context of well anchored inflation and inflation expectations. The central bank has also enhanced efforts to increase awareness of monetary policy and central banking in Sri Lanka with its proposed move to flexible inflation targeting. Accordingly, we have commenced publication of a series of articles on central banking. These articles are available on the central bank website, and they include a primer on the conduct of monetary policy and central banking in Sri Lanka, past, present, and future, and exchange rate and economic impact of depreciation. These articles are expected to help address any misconceptions about central banking in Sri Lanka. And the diagram below gives a picture of how you could access these articles in the website. Thank you.
2019 වසරේ 4 වෙනි වතාවට මුදල් ප්‍රතිපත්ති විවරණය සඳහා අද දින ශ්‍රී ලංකා මහ බැංකුවේ මුදල් මණ්ඩලය රැස් වුණා. ඒ රැස්වීමෙන් අනතුරුව තීරණය කරනු ලැබුවා දැනට පවතින ප්‍රතිපත්ති පොලි අනුපාතික එලෙසම පවත්වාගෙන යාමට. ඒ සඳහා ප්‍රධාන වූ කාරණා මෙලෙස සාකච්ඡා කරන්න පුළුවන්. ලෝකයේ ප්‍රධාන සංවර්ධිත රටවල් තමන්ගේ මුදල් ප්‍රතිපත්තිය යම්කිසි ආකාරයක ප්‍රතිපත්ති පොලි අනුපාතික අඩු කරමින් පවතිනවා, විශේෂයෙන්ම ලෝක ආර්ථික වර්ධනයේ යම් අඩුවීමත් සමග. ඒ වගේම ඊට ප්‍රතිචාර වශයෙන් සංවර්ධනය වෙමින් පවතින ආර්ථිකයන්ද තම ප්‍රතිපත්ති පොලි අනුපාතික අඩු කරමින් පවතිනවා. ලංකාවේ ආර්ථිකය ගත්තොත් ඔබ දන්නවා පසුගිය වසරේ අවසාන කාර්තුවේ වාර්තා කරන ලද 1.1.8ක ආර්ථික වර්ධනයට සාපේක්ෂව අපි 2019 වසරේ පළවෙනි කාර්තුවේදී යම්කිසි හොඳ ආර්ථික වර්ධනයක් ළඟා කරගත්තා. ප්‍රධාන වශයෙන්ම කෘෂි කාර්මික සහ සේවා කියන අංශ තුනේම ආර්ථික වර්ධනයන් මේ සඳහා බලපෑවා. ඒ වගේම මෑත කාලීනව ලෝක බැංකුව ශ්‍රී ලංකාව ඉහළ මැදි ආදායම් ලබන රටක් වශයෙන් ප්‍රකාශයට පත් කරනු ලැබුවා. උද්දමනය අපි දන්නවා 2019 වසරේ මේ තාක් 4.6ත් අපි අපේක්ෂා කරන මට්ටමෙන් පවත්වා ගැනීමට හැකියාව ලැබුණා. ඒ වගේම අනාගතයේදීත් යම්කිසි කෙටි කාලීන අඩු වැඩිවීම් පැවතුනත් අපි අපේක්ෂා කරන 4.4ත් 6ත් අගය තුල පවත්වාගෙන යාමට හැකියාව ලැබෙවි කියලා විශ්වාස කරනවා. විදේශ අංශයේ සලකා බලනකොට රුපියල් බිලියන 1.5කින් පමණ අපේ වෙළඳ හිගේ අඩුවීමක් සිදු වුණා මේ 2019 වසරේ 2018 වසරට සාපේක්ෂව. එහි ප්‍රතිඵලයක් විදිහට තවදුරටත් 2019 පස්සේ මාස 5ක් තුලත් අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා වෙළඳ හිගිය තවදුරටත් අඩු වෙයි කියලා. ඒ වගේම පාස්කු ඉරිදා ප්‍රහාරයෙන් පස්සේ සංචාරකින්ගේ පැමිණීම යම් ධර්මයකට අඩු වුණා මේ මාසෙදී. නමුත් 2019 ජූනි මාසෙදී එම තත්ත්වයේ යම් සැලකිය යුතු ලෙස වර්ධනයක් සිද්ධ වුණා. මේ සියල්ලගේම ප්‍රතිඵලයක් විදිහට ශ්‍රී ලංකා රුපියල 2019 වසරේදී 4.1ක අධි ප්‍රමාණයක් වාර්තා කරනු ලැබුවා. ඔබට මතක ඇති 2018 වසරේදී අපි 16.4ක අව ප්‍රමාණයක් වුණා. ඒ අධි අව ප්‍රමාණය වීම යම් නිවැරදි කිරීමක් වෙමින් තමයි 2019 දී මෙලෙස රුපියල අධි ප්‍රමාණය වෙමින් පවතින්නේ. ඒ වගේම ජූනි මාසයේදී ශ්‍රී ලංකාවට ලබා ගැනීමට හැකියාව ලැබුණා ඩොලර් බිලියන 2ක ස්වරිත බැඳුම් කර එහි ප්‍රතිඵලයක් විදිහට රිසර්ව්ස් 100ට සමාන ඇමරිකන් එක්සත් ජනපද ඩොලර් 8.9ක් ලෙස සංචිත ප්‍රමාණය වාර්තා වුණා. මුදල් සහ ණය අංශයේ සලකා බලනකොට 2018 අපිට දක්වන ලැබුණු ඉහළ ණය ප්‍රසාරණයට සාපේක්ෂව 2019 පළවෙනි මාස 5 තුල රුපියල් බිලියන 20ක පමණ ණය ආපසු ගෙවීමක් තමයි බැංකු පද්ධතියේ දක්වන ලැබුණේ. කෙසේ වෙතත් අපි අපේක්ෂා කරන ණය පොලි අනුපාතික අඩුවීමත් සමගම 2019 වසරේ අවසානය වන විට මේ නැවත යථා තත්ත්වයට පත් වේ කියලා විශ්වාස කරනවා. මුදල් රට තුළ සංසාරය වන බ්‍රෝඩ් පුළුල් මුදල් සැපීමත් මේ හින්දා අඩුවීමකට ලක් වුණා. ශ්‍රී ලංකා මහා බැංකුව පසුගිය කාලය තුළ විවිධ ආකාරයේ වූ ප්‍රතිපත්ති තීරණ ගනු ලැබුවා. උදාහරණයක් විදිහට මෑතකදී අපි තුන්වන ප්‍රතිපත්ති පොලි අනුපාතික විවරණයේදී ප්‍රතිපත්ති පොලි අනුපාතික පදනම් අංක 50කින් අඩු කරනු ලැබුවා. ඊට අමතරව ව්‍යවස්ථාපිත සංචිත අනුපාතයේ දෙවතාවක් අඩු කිරීමත් අප්‍රේල් මාස අගභාගයේදී තැන්පතු සඳහා සීමා පැනවීමත් සිදු කරනු ලැබුවා. එහි ප්‍රතිඵලයක් විදියට පොලි අනුපාතිකවල අඩුවීමක් අපිට දක්වන්න ලැබුණා. විශේෂයෙන්ම තැන්පතු පොලි අනුපාතික විශාල ප්‍රමාණයකින් අඩුවීමක් පසුගිය කාලයේදී දක්වන්න ලැබුණා. ඒ වගේම රජයේ සුරුකුම්පත්වල පොලි අනුපාතිකයේ අඩුවීමත් සමගම අපි අපේක්ෂා කරනවා ඉදිරියට තවදුරටත් තැන්පතු පොලි අනුපාතිකයේ අඩුවීමක්. කෙසේ වෙතත් යම් යම් ණය පොලි අනුපාතිකවල විශේෂයෙන්ම ප්‍රමුඛ ණය පොලි අනුපාතිකයේ යම් අඩුවීමක් තිබුණත් අනෙකුත් පොලි අනුපාතිකවල අඩුවීමක් ලක් විය යුතුව තිබෙනවා. ඒ හින්දා අපි විශ්වාස කරනවා මුදල් ප්‍රතිපත්ති මෙලෙසම නොවෙනස්ව පවත්වාගෙන ගියත් වෙළඳපොළ තවදුරටත් අවකාශය තිබෙනවා ණය පොලි අනුපාතිකය තවදුරටත් පහළ යෑම සඳහා. එවැගේම අවසාන වශයෙන්ම ශ්‍රී ලංකා මහා බැංකුව ශ්‍රී ලංකා මහා බැංකුව ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන ආකාරයත් තම මුදල් ප්‍රතිපත්තිය ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන ආකාරයත් පිළිබඳව විවිධ තොරතුරු ප්‍රකාශනයන් මහ ජනතාවට ලබා දී තිබෙනවා. ඒ අපගේ මේ තිරේ දැක්වෙන පරිදි ඔබට කියවීමට හැකි අපි ආරාධනා කරනවා. විශේෂයෙන්ම මෙහි දැක්වෙන අපේ මහා බැංකුව ප්‍රකාශනයන් බලන ලෙස. බොහොම ස්තුතියි.
நாணய சபையானது இன்று நடைபெற்ற அதனது கூட்டத்தில் கொள்கை வட்டி வீதங்களை மாற்றமின்றி அதே மட்டத்தில் பேணுவதென தீர்மானித்துக் கொண்டது. இந்த தீர்மானத்திற்காக பல்வேறு உலகளாவிய மற்றும் உள்நாட்டு பொருளாதார ரீதி அடிப்படையிலான பல்வேறு நிலைப்பாடுகள் கவனத்தில் கொள்ளப்பட்டன. உலகளாவிய ரீதியிலே பல்வேறு நாடுகளில் வளர்ச்சியடைந்த தோற்றம் பெற்று வரும் நாடுகளில் தளர்த்தப்படுகின்ற நாணய கொள்கை தொடர்பான ஒரு நிலைப்பாட்டினை அண்மையில் காணக்கூடியதாக இருக்கின்றது. இலங்கையின் உண்மை பொருளாதார வளர்ச்சியினை நோக்குவோமாக இருந்தால் 2018ஆம் ஆண்டின் 4ஆம் காலாண்டில் பதிவு செய்யப்பட்ட தாழ்ந்த வளர்ச்சியான 1.8% ஒப்பிடும் பொழுது 2019ஆம் ஆண்டின் முதல் காலாண்டு பகுதியிலே ஒரு உயர்ந்த வீதமான 3.7% பதிவு செய்யப்பட்டுள்ளது. ஜூலை மாதத்தில் உலக வங்கியானது இலங்கையின் தலைக்குரிய மொத்த தேசிய வருமானம் ஐக்கிய அமெரிக்க டாலர்கள் 4060 காணப்பட்டதனை அடுத்து இலங்கையினை ஒரு உயர்ந்த நடுத்தர வருமானம் கொண்ட நாடொன்றாக பிரகடனப்படுத்தியுள்ளது. பணவீக்கத்தினை பொறுத்தவரையிலே முதன்மை பணவீக்கமானது தொடர்ச்சியாக ஒரு விரும்பப்பட்ட மட்டமான நடு ஒற்றை இலக்க மட்டத்திலேயே தொடர்ந்தும் காணப்படுகின்றது. சில தற்காலிகமான விலை அழுத்தங்கள் காணப்படக்கூடிய பொழுதிலும் நடுத்தர காலத்திலே பணவீக்கமானது 4 தொடக்கம் 6 என்கின்ற விரும்பப்பட்ட மட்டத்தில் பொருத்தமான கொள்கை வழிமுறைகளுடன் பேணப்படும் என எதிர்பார்க்கப்படுகின்றது. வெளிநாட்டுத் துறையினை பொறுத்தவரையிலே குறைவடைந்து செல்கின்ற வர்த்தக பற்றாக்குறையின் காரணமாக வெளிநாட்டுத் துறையானது ஒரு உறுதியான நிலையிலே காணப்படுகின்றது. மே மாதத்துக்கான தற்காலிக தரவுகளின் அடிப்படையிலும் இந்த உறுதிநிலை மேலும் உறுதிப்படுத்தப்பட்டுள்ளது. சுற்றுலா பயணிகளின் வருகையினை பொறுத்தவரையிலே மே மாதத்தின் வருகையுடன் ஒப்பிடும் பொழுது ஜூன் மாதத்தில் ஒரு அதிகரிப்பு ஒன்று காணக்கூடியதாக இருக்கின்றது. தனியார் பண அனுப்புதல்களை பொறுத்தவரையிலே மே மாதத்தில் ஒரு வீழ்ச்சி ஒன்று காணப்படுகின்றது. இலங்கை ரூபாவானது 2018 ஆண்டின் இறுதிப் பகுதியிலே கடுமையாக பெருமான தேய்வுக்கு உட்பட்டதன் பின்னர் அதனை நிவர்த்தி செய்யும் வழியிலே 2019 ஆண்டு தற்பொழுது வரையிலே ஒரு பெறுமதி உயர்வொன்றினை பதிவு செய்துள்ளது. அந்த அடிப்படையிலே இட்டை வரை இலங்கை ரூபாவானது 4.1% பெருமான உயர்வடைந்து காணப்படுகின்றது. மொத்த அலுவல்சார் ஒதுக்குகளை பொறுத்தவரையிலே 8.9 ஐக்கிய அமெரிக்க டாலர்கள் பில்லியனாக காணப்பட்டு அது நாட்டுக்கான பன்னாட்டு முறிகளின் வளங்கலினை உள்ளடக்கியதாக காணப்படுகின்றது. தனியார் துறைக்கான கொடுக்கனை பொறுத்தவரையிலே அதன் வீழ்ச்சியானது மே மாதத்திலும் மேலும் காணப்பட்டதாக காணப்படுகின்றது. எதிர்பார்க்கப்படுகின்ற சந்தை கடன் வழங்கல் வீதங்களின் வீழ்ச்சியுடன் 2019 ஆண்டின் பிற்பகுதியிலே தனியார் கொடுக்கட்டலானது அதிகரிக்கும் என எதிர்பார்க்கப்படுகின்றது. விரிந்த பண வளங்களின் வளர்ச்சியினை பொறுத்தவரையிலே அது தொடர்ச்சியாகவும் ஒரு மந்தமான நிலையிலேயே மே மாதத்திலும் காணப்பட்டதனை காணக்கூடியதாக இருக்கின்றது. இலங்கை மத்திய வங்கியானது பொருளாதாரத்தில் காணப்படுகின்ற நாணய நிலைப்பாடுகளை தளர்த்தி கொள்வதற்கான பல்வேறு நடவடிக்கைகளை தற்பொழுது மேற்கொண்டு வந்துள்ளது. அந்த அடிப்படையிலே கொள்கை வட்டி வீதங்கள் 50 அடிப்படை புள்ளிகளினால் குறைக்கப்பட்டுள்ளன. அதேபோல நியதி ஒதுக்கு வீதத்தின் குறைப்பின் மூலமாக திரவத்தன்மையானது அதிக அளவில் சந்தைக்கு வழங்கப்பட்டுள்ளது. அதேபோல வட்டி வீதங்கள் மீதான உச்ச வட்டி வீதம் தீர்மானிக்கப்பட்டுள்ளது. அதேபோல கொள்கை வட்டி வீதங்கள் மேலும் குறைப்படக்கூடியதற்கான ஒரு வழிகாட்டி ஒன்றும் வழங்கப்பட்டுள்ளது. சந்தை வட்டி வீதங்களை பொறுத்தவரையிலே வைப்பு வீதங்கள் ஏற்கனவே ஒரு குறைவினை காட்டியுள்ளதனை காணக்கூடியதாக இருக்கின்றது. கடன் வழங்கல் வீதத்தினை பொறுத்தவரையிலே சில வட்டி வீதங்கள் ஒரு வீழ்ச்சியினை காட்டியுள்ள பொழுதிலுமே இன்னமும் அநேகமான சந்தை வட்டி வீதங்கள் வீழ்ச்சி ஒன்றினை காட்ட வேண்டிய தேவையொன்று இருப்பதுடன் எதிர்வரும் காலத்திலே இவை மேலும் வீழ்ச்சி அடையும் என எதிர்பார்க்கப்படுகின்றது. இந்த நாணய கொள்கை தீர்மானமானது சந்தை கடன் வழங்கல் வீதத்தினை மேலும் கீழ்நோக்கி சீர் செய்வதற்கு உதவும் என எதிர்பார்க்கப்படுகின்றது. மத்திய வங்கியானது தொடர்ந்தும் உலகளாவிய மற்றும் உள்ளக நிதியியல் சந்தை மற்றும் ஏனைய அபிவிருத்திகளை தொடர்ந்தும் கண்காணித்து அதற்கு ஏற்றவாறு பொருளாதார வளர்ச்சிக்கு ஆதரவளிக்கக்கூடிய வகையிலே அதன் கொள்கை நடவடிக்கைகளை மேற்கொள்ளும் என எதிர்பார்க்கப்படுகின்றது. இந்த நிலைமையானது ஒரு சாதகமான பணவீக்க தோற்றப்பாட்டுடன் இணைந்ததாக காணப்படுகின்றது. மத்திய வங்கியானது அண்மை காலத்திலே இலங்கையின் மத்திய வங்கியியல் தொடர்பான பல்வேறு கட்டுரைகளை வெளியிட்டு வருகின்றது. அந்த அடிப்படையிலே தமிழ் மொழி மூலம் இடம்பெறுகின்ற இந்த கட்டுரைகளை நீங்கள் இதில் கொடுக்கப்பட்டுள்ள பாதையினை பின்பற்றுவதன் மூலம் பெற்றுக்கொள்ளலாம். நன்றி.
Thank you all very much. Let me divide up my remarks into two. First, to perhaps highlight a few of the points that my colleagues have already made, and then to give you a flavor of the discussion that took place at the Monetary Board and the justification for the final decision. On the status of the economy, as you all know, central banks are all about stability. And if you look at the various indicators, I think you will see that the macroeconomic fundamentals are in reasonably good shape. This is something that I keep saying, and let me try and again justify it. If you look at inflation as a key indicator for stability on the domestic front, well, in June, inflation came down a little bit, and the inflation rate is well within the 4 to 6% target range. And inflation expectations and the outlook is well anchored. while we may expect some uptick in inflation in the coming months, it will remain within the overall target range. So the inflation as the indicator of domestic stability seems to indicate that we are in the correct place as far as um, the domestic stability is concerned. If you look at, and this has also, I think, enable benchmark interest rates to come down and come down significantly. Right across the yield curve, as you heard from the presenters, the benchmark interest rates, that's the treasury bill and bond rates, have reduced significantly. Deposit rates have also come down. Lending rates have been a little sticky coming down, but we were certainly going to press the banks to bring down lending rates in alignment with the trends we have seen in the benchmark rates as well as the deposit rates. And if you look at external stability, and you take the current account as the indicator of external stability, for the first time in 10 years, in the first quarter of this year, there was a surplus in the current account of the balance of payments. That's the first time that has happened since 2009. Of course, it's only one quarter, but still, that is a positive development. And that has also clearly had an impact on the balance between inflows and outflows, which has meant that the rupee has been able to appreciate by 4.1% during the course of this year so far. So if, looking at inflation as the key indicator for domestic stability, the current account as a key indicator for external stability, on both fronts, we are in pretty good shape. And also gross official reserves, following the second international sovereign bond issuance, as at the end of June, was $8.9 billion, as you heard in the presentations. So if you look at stability, we are in pretty good shape. However, growth is a problem. And that is where we need to see how things can be accelerated. There are structural reforms that need to be implemented, and of course, one needs to work on both sentiment and confidence, which at the moment, particularly after the Easter bombings, have taken a hit. But all indications are that there is fairly rapid recovery that is taking place, including in the tourism sector, which was most adversely affected. With that, let me just give you, as I said I would, a flavor of the discussion at the Monetary Board in arriving at the final decision to leave the policy rates unchanged. The first factor is the continuation of the dovish monetary policy stance of major central banks around the world, notably the Fed. Now, there was some indication that the Fed's position might turn a little less dovish when there were some very good employment results last Friday. But the testimony that Jay Powell, the Fed chief, gave at in his congressional hearings yesterday seemed to indicate that the Fed is very much still on a dovish track. And as you heard from the presenters, several central banks have eased monetary policy. So overall, there is a dovish monetary policy stance globally, plus global growth has weakened due to trade and geopolitical tensions. There has been a move towards this concerted monetary policy action by the global central banks to try to shore up growth globally. Now, what this has done is that it has also given us greater room to maneuver in terms of monetary policy domestically. Because if you remember last year, when the Fed was on a tightening cycle, there was capital outflows out of emerging market economies, particularly those with current account deficit. And Sri Lanka was one of the countries where there was enormous pressure on our external account, and particularly the currency. And that reduced the room to maneuver we had in terms of our domestic monetary policy making. Now, with the external environment less pressurized and more dovish, that of course gives the monetary board greater scope in terms of room to maneuver on monetary policy. So that is really a case for relaxing monetary policy. A second factor which argues for a relaxation of monetary policy is the continuing output gap. As we've said, the potential growth rate is 5%. We are around 3%. So clearly, there is this output gap, which would argue for a relaxation of monetary policy. A third factor in favor of relaxing monetary policy are the trends that you would have seen in the presentations on private sector credit growth. Private sector credit growth has decelerated significantly. In fact, in the first 5 months of the year, we have seen a contraction in credit growth by, I think it was it 29 billion rupees. Now, of course, one has to temper that by the fact that the government repaid 100 billion of arrears during the course of the first 3-4 months of this year, and much of that money would have been used to repay outstanding advances. So you have to net that out against the contraction in private sector credit growth. But even allowing for that, private sector credit growth has decelerated significantly. And we've also seen, as far as the external sector is concerned, a significant improvement in the trade account, as you saw in the presentations, both due to a compression of imports as well as some increase in exports. The increase in exports, the continuing increase in exports is particularly encouraging. And I think the depreciation of the currency by 16% last year is a particular boost that sector has enjoyed. And obviously continued export growth is critical if we are to get out of the debt dynamics that we are caught up in. So that's another reason. But there are some risks as far as the external sector is concerned. The oil price is one. Though prices have come down from what they were a few months ago, in recent days there has been an uptick, partly because of geopolitical tensions, partly because I think there's a storm in the Gulf of Mexico. So there is some risk in terms of fuel prices, in terms of food prices. These are global prices that I'm talking about. And also the possibility of capital flows, capital outflows in particular, and a reduction in non-debt creating flows if FDI flows are less than we anticipated due to the Easter bombings. So those are some of the risks. But overall, again, if you look at what's happening in the external account, there is a case for relaxing policy. So I've given you 4 reasons for relaxing policy. The fifth reason, of course, is related to inflation. And as I said, and as the presenters have said, inflation continues to be subdued. Inflation expectations and the outlook is well anchored. Again, that argues for a reduction in policy rates. The reason one would want to be careful about relaxing policy is that there is evidence now that there could be fiscal slippage due to the Easter bombings, as well as the import compression that we are seeing outside the effects of the Easter bombings. The government's revenue, import duty collection has come down. In addition, with the lower level of economic activity, VAT, income tax, all that is likely to be affected. So government revenue is being affected. In addition, expenditure also is likely to be higher. The government is taking steps to review the whole budget and to make sure that it maintains the overall framework of the budget. But that fiscal slippage or possible fiscal slippage is an argument against relaxing policy. So why is it? Now that I've given you 5 reasons for relaxing and basically one reason for not relaxing. The reason why the Monetary Board decided not to reduce policy rates on this occasion is to wait and see the full effects of everything that has been done so far. Now, policy rates, as you know, were reduced on the 31st of May. Now, we have data really, some of the data is up to May, the other data is May and June. So we haven't really seen, as you know, monetary policy transmission takes a bit of time. So it's not just the policy rate reduction on the 31st of May, but the two SRR reductions and the 150 billion infusion of permanent liquidity, the 100 billion the government has paid back in arrears, the effects of the deposit cap, which we now want to see translated into lending rates. In the coming weeks, we anticipate lending rates coming down quite significantly. We also want to, the government is spending about 300 million on each electorate under the Gamperelia program. So there's a lot of money, again, being flushed into the system. So we would like to wait and see exactly what the overall impact of all this money being put into the system, the reduction in lending rates going forward, to see how that plays itself out before taking another call on interest rates. So it's really a question of allowing some space to see the impact of recent monetary policy and other related measures before taking a final call. So it's a kind of wait and see decision that the Monetary Board has taken, but it is very much still, in terms of forward guidance, the guidance would be to say that it is in a relaxing mode, in a monetary policy stance, which certainly would consider further relaxation of monetary policy if it is deemed appropriate at the next meeting. Thank you.